Today I'm going to show you how I made 3 modern farmhouse pumpkins using items from the Dollar Tree. Pumpkin number 1, I'm using this pool noodle that I have cut down and I've cut a slit into. I will also be using Dollar Tree floral wire and the Dollar Tree poly rope. So this particular DIY is done on Pinterest. You do see it there in sisal. So a lot of people use the sisal to make this kind of pumpkin. I wanted to use something from the Dollar Tree that was inexpensive, and I decided to use the poly rope. I thought that it would be great for Halloween or for a modern farmhouse style pumpkin. So I cut the poly rope down to a size that was manageable, and I'm just gonna slide it onto the pool noodle, and I'm gonna slide it over the opening to make sure that it covers that opening slit at the top that I've made. The next thing that I'm going to do, and you see I'm kind of securing that end piece down, is I'm going to wrap it around 5 times. You want it to have 5 complete circles. And then you want to bring up the tail so that it also covers that slit at the top. Okay, this is why you made the slit. You're going to bring that floral wire up through the slit, and you're going to take it and you're going to gather all of that poly rope together, and you're going to secure it together. You see I'm having a little trouble with that end piece. I thought about taping it, and then I thought, no, that would not be the right thing to do because I have to slide it off the pool noodle. You could maybe hot glue the ends of it a little bit so that it would stay together, but you can see now that I'm going to be sliding this off of the pool noodle, and then we have one section. So we're going to make 4 sections, 5 circles each. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap the leftover wire around the center so that it's secured real well. Okay, so you see we have one section here, and I'm going to spread it out here for you and show you what that looks like. And then I have another section already done, so we're going to secure these together with the floral wire in the center, just like that. And then I have 2 more, and I'm just going to add those on, and you'll see it will take the shape of a pumpkin. And we have a pumpkin. All right, let's embellish it. I purchased a package of cinnamon sticks. They're craft cinnamon sticks from Hobby Lobby. They were about $5 for the package, and I believe I got them on sale. Oh no, actually I didn't, because they were in the Christmas section. So I did not get them on sale. Now I'm taking this farmhouse style rope, and this came from Etsy. This did not come from the Dollar Tree. They do have some at the Dollar Tree that is similar to this. It's a little bit lighter in color. It's not quite as black, but I had this on hand and I didn't have to spend any extra money, so I decided to use it. And I'm just gonna hot glue this into a bow. Please use finger protectors. I have finger protectors, and you will see that I end up using them, but for some reason I always forget to grab them. Okay, so now I'm taking this lace ribbon. This also came from the Dollar Tree. Pretty much most of the things here came from the Dollar Tree. You see that I burned my finger. And I'm just going to use this as a center. I'm going to trim it to size so that it fits in the middle there. And then I'll be placing it on my pumpkin. And there is Modern Farmhouse Pumpkin number 1. Okay, pumpkin number 2. Yes, it's still the pool noodle. I'm taking some really thin yarn that also came from, you guessed it, the Dollar Tree, from the Crafter's Corner section. And this time we're gonna wrap this, I think I wrapped this 75 times. If you care to count, you can. But we're wrapping it and we're keeping it in a straight line. So we're not letting any of them overlap. And then I'm kind of pushing them together because I'm going to use this entire pool noodle for all of the loop making. And like I said, you might even want to do more than 75. You might want to go even as high as like 90 or 100. I don't know, 100 might be too much, but as many as you can fit on there this to make this little pumpkin full. Okay, so you see I'm doing the same thing here. I'm just pulling the yarn up through the slits that I've made and I'm tying it together, and I'm going to pull all that real tight, slide it off of the noodle and tie it up tightly. So what you end up with is like a Cinderella kind of flat style yarn pumpkin, and I have my own little twist to this. It's all over Pinterest. And so again, there's a ton of blog posts on it. And I'm just kind of fanning it out here. And you see how it's taking on that shape. And you also see that probably I could have done a few more loops on that one side. So I think closer to 90 would be better. So then I had to figure out how to do a stem, and using the things that I have on hand. So I took the floral wire and I just kind of shoved it underneath there. And I kind of left it open. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this jute, also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to wrap it around both of those pieces there. And then that will bring those two pieces together. And then I'm going to wrap it all around and wrap it until it gets to the top. So then I got to the top and I'm like, okay, what do I do with this? So I'm gonna take those little frayed edges at the top and I'm gonna just hot glue them and kind of move them into place and kind of slick them down. And I am using my finger protectors this time. And then snip a little bit more off there. So another idea would be to use pipe cleaners. I didn't want to use pipe cleaners. I kind of wanted it to have that rustic stem look to it. And it's such a light piece, you really have to use something lighter, so this is what I came up with. Alright, so I kind of pulled it tight there again and then just did a little refluffing and snip off that little edge there. And there you have it. You have a cute little Cinderella yarn pumpkin. Okay, this last pumpkin is a fabric pumpkin. And if you remember when I made my curtain for my Billy bookcase, this is part of that duvet that I had left over, and I'm gonna make a pumpkin out of it. Now, I don't know if you would call this one modern farmhouse. It's probably more French country, but it is black and white. So anyways, I'm using my placemat here because it was the largest thing I could find that was round that I could use. And I'm just cutting it out. Obviously, I'm cutting the circle out. Here I'm just taking some embroidery thread and an embroidery needle, something I already had on hand, and I am going 1 inch in from the edge of the circle, and I'm making 1-inch stitches. And so like one goes underneath and then another inch, and then it goes back up through again. So they're kind of every other on top or underneath. And then I'm just pulling it tight after filling it in with some leftover filler from a pillow that I have. And what I found with this is that it made a smaller pumpkin than I thought. I mean, that was like a large circle that I cut out, and I kind of wanted a bigger pumpkin, but that's okay. And I kept filling it in. You're gonna see I kept filling it in with more filler. I wanted it fuller. Really make sure that you get it pretty full so that it looks like a pumpkin. And you see I'm adding even more. Also make sure that your edges there are turned out when you go to pull it tight, that you have you're not getting your edge caught inside of the pumpkin, if that makes sense. Make sure your flaps are all pulled out there. I'm making sure that my picture is showing right where I want it to show. That's how I cut the material out. And I'm pulling it really tight after I fill it in even more. Yes, I used a lot. I probably used half a pillow on this. I'm pulling it tight. This is another thing that you can find out there on Pinterest. Also, again, giving it my own twist. I needed an extra hand, so I asked my daughter, and I want to thank her for helping me so that I could make sure that I got it really, really tight. And then I'm going to tie it again to secure it even more. All right, I'm sticking another one of those little cinnamon sticks. Actually, it's half of the other one I used. And I didn't even glue it, I just stuck it in there. I'm using some jute rope from the Dollar Tree. And I'm gonna wrap it around and make a bow. I wrapped it a couple times. And then I'm just gonna kind of play with the bow here to get it the right size that I want. So you're not gonna see me style these pumpkins in this video. If you want to see me style these pumpkins, I would invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when I put up another video, because I will put up a decorating video. I'll probably use this on a tiered tray. All of these I'll probably use on the same tiered tray, but I'm not ready to do that video yet. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. And here are my 3 modern farmhouse pumpkins. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Here's a couple other videos for you, and make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Have a great week, and I will see you in the next video.